Hello, sir. I am going to present my reflection about the life of Rizal regarding the video that I have viewed, and also I will be adding some of the things that I have learned throughout this semester. What comes to my mind when I hear the name Jose Rizal? Of course, I will immediately think of the known national hero of the Philippines, the man who yielded his pen and used his knowledge, his words, to set the patriotic fervor of the Filipinos to continue to burn, help them open their eyes to the reality and pursue the purpose of achieving and taking their freedom back from the Spaniards. The life of Jose Rizal was truly inspiring, not just an ordinary story of a Filipino, but a story of a very intelligent and talented Filipino who is ready to sacrifice his whole life just to give freedom and peace to his family and own nation. Dr. Jose Rizal contributed greatly to our present society. His influence and legacy were taken by heart by every other Filipinos, and that helped them to become aware of their own lost freedom. He was one of the main foundations of the Philippines' engaging society. His knowledge and words poured into a book and read by many were his preserved history of his understanding and behavior. He is one of the great foundations of Filipino freedom. Jose Rizal, for my bits of knowledge, reveals to me the estimation of specific things which is significant for an amazing achievement. That is God, family, country, and self. He was unable to reach us that far without God. The Lord is the most significant one who could decide our prosperity, much the same as Rizal dreaded God. And consequently, he has been favored liberally not by material things, just however a profound one. That is knowledge, abilities, love, and sympathy. Likewise, the job of a family is significant for Rizal, had been honored with a family who could control him to what he truly points. Indeed, even these days, family is one of the establishments of an individual's career or character. The next one is the nation. For Rizal's the pick of affection for the nation as a method of adorning his kindred Filipino, accordingly helped them to accomplish equity from the underhanded and degenerate minister of the Spaniards who are abusing them in their property for God, has made us to broaden our assistance with our individual as an image of extolling him. What's more, last is self. I have gained from Rizal's life that you should make yourself productively. He causes himself to develop intelligence and information to utilize it in God's motivation. He didn't state to himself that he is not sufficient worth and live visually impaired for what's going on in his condition. Consequently, he realizes that he is an offspring of God. Rizal demonstrated that the pen is mightier than a blade, for his ability in works empower him to persuade his entire fellowmen to accomplish equity, in this way pulverizing a realm. For words fly any place and touch up each man's emotions. Much the same as truism says that a word is amazing. There comes positive and negative in it. It could mend one's heart yet also hurt another, like a two-fold edged blade. Rizal has a God-dreading heart with the goal that he has touched of change and harmony, and therefore means we Filipinos ought to have a decent, still, small voice and God-dreading heart to force positive changes. He kept that the backwardness of this country during the Spanish era was not a result of the Filipinos' separation, absence of care, or indolence as affirmed by the rulers, yet the negligence of the Spanish specialists in the islands. For Rizal, vital guidance is to lift the country to the most raised seat of miracle and to develop the people's disposition. Since guidance is the foundation of society and fundamental for social progression, Rizal attested that simply through preparing could the country be saved from dominance. Rizal's perspective of guidance along these lines centers around the game plan of proper motivation to fortify the exceptional social powers that make preparing a triumph, to make in the immature and uninborn to need to build up his understanding and give him life endless. After his passing, the Philippine Revolution proceeded until 1898. Furthermore, with the help of the United States, the Philippines proclaimed its freedom from Spain on June 12, 1898. This was the time that the Philippine banner was waved at the General Emilio Aguinaldo's living arrangement in Kawit, Cavite. Today, Dr. Rizal's brightness, empathy, fortitude, and nationalism are extraordinarily recalled and perceived by Filipino individuals. His two books, which are No Limitang Hire and El Filibusterismo, the most famous ones, were ceaselessly being investigated by understudies and experts. Schools, colleges in the Philippines even require their understudies to take a subject that bases on the life and works of Rizal. Consistently, the Filipinos observe Rizal Day, December 30, every year to celebrate his life and works. To pay tribute to Rizal, dedications and sculptures of the national legend can be found inside the Philippines as well as in chosen urban areas around the globe. As a student, I am more than glad to be able to learn his life, to be immersed by the history and the legacy he has left. Rizal utilized his amazing expertise in writing to move an entire nation to free itself, and his flooding benevolence and fearlessness is the reason he holds the famous title of a hero. Jose Rizal ventured to the far corners of the planet, always remembering the Philippines. He extended his insight and aptitude on composing and medication, always remembering the Philippines. He passed on with the future still at the forefront of his thoughts. He always remembered the Philippines. He arrived at his goal by recollecting where he originated from. And it's a conviction he held solid near his heart, clearly for as long as he can remember. The way that he dedicated himself to his nation's prosperity is the thing that makes him an amazing hero in my eyes. I believe that Rizal is right about treasuring knowledge and not taking it for granted. I hope to widen, improve, and utilize this knowledge just as the way he did. I am profoundly enlightened by the things that I learned about him. I hope to carry on his legacy in a way that I can also contribute meaningfully to our society in the way that I can do, in the ways that I can possibly do. That's all. Thank you.